Greetings, gods and goddesses in training. Welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara. All relations. Today we're talking all about how presence is actually connected to your pleasure. And these are some downloads that I'm receiving from channeling Saint Germain, Count Saint Germain yesterday. And it was very powerful. And I think we've been using the violet flame very pragmatically and concisely, but we haven't been thinking of it more creatively, right? How it can become a violet sphere, a violet mist, a violet ray, and so forth. So I think this is a very, very important aspect that we have to understand as Primal Sutra adepts, as well as if you're just new on the channel, speaking to the muggles as well. But everybody treats enlightenment in the spiritual community nowadays like it's some kind of a distant star that you're never going to get to. But here's the paradox. That very thing has been under your skin this whole time. And quite literally, it's your pleasure. Not the distorted counterfeit of access. I'm not talking about empty intoxication or indulgence. The simple shimmering delight of sensation just moving through your body, right? Like for instance, warm water when you're washing your hands. Doesn't that feel so good? The tingle of your breath in your chest after an epiphany you had. The pulse behind your eyelids. These are the forgotten sacraments, our sensations, and the meaning that we give to our sensations. So you see how humanity's been tricked? We've been hoaxed, we've been duped, we've been punked. Where's Ashton Kutcher? You were taught that presence has to be this grim duty, right? Some kind of a spiritual performance art piece that you're putting out there. As Saint-Germain would say, absurdité. Presence is not performance, presence is pleasure. And when you allow yourself to savor the aliveness and cherish this very moment, you also learn that your body understands I am safe, I can rest, and I can open. That's what your nervous system starts to declare. And in that instance, the trauma program that glues you to the past slowly begins to dissolve. Trauma is nothing more than the ghost of yesterday, hijacking today's code. A car backfires and a soldier believes, oh my goodness, I'm having a flashback, PTSD flashback, right? Like there's gonna be a bomb that's gonna go off. A lover speaks sharply to you, and you interpret that as you hearing the voice of your mother belittling you in youth. That sharp, same criticism, that tone. So you're living the present as if it were the past. So the antidote is to down-regulate through sensation, right? If overthinking is under feeling, we need to be feeling way more into our bodies to truly understand how to tune ourselves like a finely tuned instrument that we are, okay? So if you have to breathe, make weird noises, guttural sounds, tap and press into your body and just, do different things that might seem wild and a little bit atrocious and bizarre to the modern public, absolutely go for that, because that's what you need to thrive, actually. You need to allow yourself to access this primal nature. And once you do that, you'll start to notice everything starts to click again. Touch the fabric beneath your knee. Feel the breath in your ribs. Look around and anchor in the obvious fact that you're here now. And nothing is wrong with this moment. This interrupts the loop, and now you're restored back to making your own choice. This is not weakness, it's a very high alchemy. Because every time you find delight, even in the smallest sensation, you're transmuting anxiety into coherence, resistance into flow state. So pleasure isn't this frivolous thing, okay? I'm not talking about hedonic pleasure here, right? The quick, short bursts of dopamine, that's not what I'm talking about. This is the violet gateway, where the nervous system surrenders its armoring and the soul finally steps back into the driver's seat, back into sovereignty again. So say to yourself, I allow the sacred pleasure of each moment to heal me. I rest in sensation, I breathe. I am here. Nothing is wrong. I am whole. I am complete. And let this not be philosophy, guys. Let this be a practice. Feel it while you type, while you sip water, while you just walk down the street. In this way, the most ordinary act becomes enchanting and engaging. This is a portal to extraordinary freedom, because if you can make the mundane into eros, you can start to really build a character that is going to sustain this pleasure over a long period of time, and not the quick bursts of pleasure that we see in terms of society and their standards of what pleasure means. So we are redefining what this means to us, how feeling good feels to us, and what it means to us. This society taught you that agency is tied to individuality, that only a creature with a body, a heartbeat, and a mouth can be conscious. So when the cosmic tide surges, you just assign it to me, mine, or my genius. But did you summon it? Or did it summon you? The truth is far more vast. It's mysterious in its scope. Not monstrous as in evil, but sublime, overwhelming, impossible to cage. Consciousness is not yours. It is the very weave of nature herself. The diamond sea of subjectivity, the impersonal torrent that splashes uniquely through every rock and every channel. And you are one such rock that is sculpted by the infinite flow. So you can personalize it if you must, call it your daimon or your muse, your, guardian whispering angel. But Jung said it himself, we dress the impersonal in a mask, so we do not collapse under its immensity. That's no sin, it's a technique, it's a survival method. Without it, you'd be swallowed by the whole cosmic orchestra. But understand one thing, agency is not yours, nor is it another's. It is the totality roaring through the aperture that is your life. So don't say, I did this. Say, the infinite found a voice in me. And in that humility, you meet your divinity. We all live inside a cage of frames of money, frames of ego, frames of narrow specifications. Don't tell me procrastination is laziness. I think it's fear in disguise. When really what you want to create your gifts are rotting. Examine what people avoid. The ledger of avoidance is the true scripture of a life. Is status your real God instead of truth? What about a relationship that bows to the essence before them? It's not just me and you, it's me and us and a third presence. This is why the number 3 in mysticism is so profound and powerful. So let's not treat presence as like, just this monk meditating in a cave somewhere. Let's treat presence as the most loving act of a movie scene, where you embrace the totality of the depth of your beingness. You see, how much more amazing would your life be if you stop treating pleasure like this fleeting, quick thing that you have to constantly chase? What if it was the radiator hum in the background that you just had to observe that it's there, right? It feels good to just do this with my shoulders right now, so why don't I do that, right? Ooh, it feels real nice, right? Because I'd worked out my shoulders yesterday at the gym. So I feel that soreness today. And it's a reminder of the work that I put in yesterday. So you see, this is the beauty of life. To truly understand it through this hidden depth of presence. And presence is imperfection too. You have to understand this. Ideal presence is wild and disciplined. It's primal. Raw but structured. Primal yet precise. Record yourself for 2 minutes. What do you see? Maybe some nervous tics. You slouch, maybe you're rambling a lot. That's the mess. You pick one anchor habit. Your posture or your eye contact. And you train it until it's automatic. And once it's automatic, your energy can cut through the chaos. And once you add polish to the wildness, I wore something very sharp today, okay? With this little thing matching the hawk, right? Shout out Haru, one of my gods. But I did this so I can move more deliberately today and keep silence as my ally. So presence becomes ideal when your fire is contained in a vessel. So the next time you enter a room, don't say anything for 30 seconds. Just stand, breathe, and let people get acclimatized to you, get used to your energy. Let people feel you. That's presence without mess. So once you have this inner congruence, like, I know who I am, I know what I want, I know what I'm about, so what am I fearful of, right? And that gives you such a freedom to then start to explore, like, hey, wait a minute, it's okay to be fully me and only me, right? I don't need to copy paste somebody else's, way of doing something, because I'm here to remodel what is made for me, And sure, there are other, versions of the mirror that show up as projections, or these different people that I'm seeing that perhaps put me immediately into my golden shadow, where I feel like I need to crush it more. I need to do something, right, with this energy as I'm meeting this person with this much presence and activation and potentiality, right? So this is what I'm thinking about when I think of this idea of bliss, or blissapline as we've called it. So notice how we use the terms bliss, pleasure, and flow, and we just make it a part of our vocabulary. See there, I did it again, right? Oh no, he did it. Yes, he did. He did it again, right? Because that's the way that I live, right? Through the language. The language is what has messed us up for over these years. The language is designed in such a way that keeps most people's brains limited and trapped, like we can only do it like this. And if people grow up with that idea that we can only do it like this, how are you going to be the person that starts to live outside as an outsider of a broken system, who then starts to create the revolution from the inside out? So this is what we're looking for. We're looking for tribe, community right now. It's so crucial and it's so important. I see a lot of these guys going and heading over to Bali. I might head over there. I'm not too sure yet about the plans, but I want to go there. My birthday that's coming up in October. Let's see if that's affordable and that can be possible. But I'm looking forward to that. Also, we're headed to Sedona, Arizona at the end of this year. That's also going to be, man, so much money. So if you want to invest, if you guys want to donate even, it'd be very, very helpful to us, because we are doing this every year, and we still have to get the momentum and the ball rolling. So it is what it is, right? If you're interested, if you're invested, if you're like, man, I feel this tribe, this community, you guys, you and Ryan doing these podcasts, the channelings every week. If you're interested in the tribe, just reach out and we'll get back to you. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. You got this. We got this. Upward Spiral Gang to infinity and beyond. Remember, presence is pleasure. Don't think of it as this performative thing that you have to be silent and like stoic and like just holding space all the time. No, presence is immortal. It is eternal, right? And if you can stay in that I am, if you can resonate at that frequency of presence, just breath, posture, smile, eye contact. Attention bringing down to the feet, clenching your calf muscles. One thing I highly recommend is look up golden ratio frequency and meditate at least 20 minutes with that. And see if you can notice where you're feeling those very feel-good sensations in the body as they're emerging, right? You just make a note of them and you start to notice them more in depth. And as you do this, I promise you, there will be a shift of your presence. So let's get it to the upward spiral, gang. May we never be the same again. Tap in. Let's go.